thank you everyone for joining me. My name is Michael Smith, the National Consumer Education Manager of Janome Canada. And yes, I'm back from my palatial estate in Collingwood to do another Janome's Magical Machine mystery tour. So what machine will we be talking about today? Ooh, I wonder, it's a mystery. So we shall see my, oh yes, don't you love my graphics there? Dania's beautiful drawings. So yes, what machine will it be? Well, oh look, you can see already on my table, as usual, I got lots to show. So our machine, oh yes, comes with cute little things like the accessories, which I'll get into a minute, an instruction book, which is always handy. But you know, I wanted to mention this foot pedal that comes with the machine. This is also a clue of how it will plug into the machine. Now, did you know, and I think the cool thing about a lot of Janome machines are the electrical plug and some of the foot pedals, you know, they can work for multiple machines. And in this case, this foot pedal, oh, and Evelyn's here, hello. This foot pedal comes with a number of machines that plug into the machine, and then you switch it on. So the power cord that goes into the wall and the foot pedal are integrated into like the same plug. It's just one plug that goes into the machine. So this is shared by a number of machines. And that makes it very convenient because then maybe you can just use the same foot pedal for two different machines. And, you know, when you use one, you take this out and plug it in the machine, and then when you're ready to use the other machine, you don't need the other foot pedal cluttering up under your table. You just unplug one machine and plug in the next, and you're ready to go. So I find that very handy. So yes, there's the foot pedal that comes with the machine, and oh yes, the instruction book. So then you'll be able to tell who by this beautiful graphic in the instruction book that tells you exactly how to use this fabulous machine. It is none other than, ooh, Janome's Magical Machine Mystery Tour is all about the Janome CoverPro 2000 CPX. Now, in previous episodes of Janome HQ, Magical Machine Mystery Tour, I did talk about the Janome CoverPro 1000 CPX. This is the 2000 CPX. And these machines are very similar. This one is slightly different. The shape, especially in here, of your throat opening is more square. The top of this machine actually, doesn't that really look like a sewing machine? So this looks a little like a sewing machine and a serger combined. But yes, we have a nice big opening here, which is 4 1/4 inch high. And then we've got all this room, like, ooh, look at all that room there. This big deck that we can create. We've got, oh, it's 9.5 deep, 9.5 inches this way. Or no, it's 9.5 this way. So it's 9.5 deep by about 9 1/4 lengthwise here. So again, lots of room to do whatever project you will be doing. Now, the difference from the CoverPro 1000, the handles, the CoverPro 1000 has a different colored balance wheel here. This one is white, but it still has the stitch control knob, and this is the differential feed, so how your fabric is feeding, you can control that. It's basically like a built-in walking device into your machine, so that's good. Another difference from this CPX 2000 versus the 1000 is we've got this soft and tight lever. This is the lower looper pre-tensioner. So we have it up here, a quick little flip of the switch to add some extra tension onto that lower looper, which I'll get into more in a minute. So what this fabulous CoverPro 2000 machine will do, oh, look at your hems of what you will wear. And this one is our 3-needle cover hem machine. So you ask, well, what's a cover hem? Now again, this machine has 3 needles. So we have And I've got different color threads, so I hope you can see them all. So again, we've got a left needle, a middle needle, and a right needle. And the distance between my far left needle and my right needle is 6 millimeters. So the distance between my right needle to the middle needle, for example, is 3 millimeters. And then from my middle needle to the left needle is 3 millimeters. And I can use all 3 needles. I can use 2 needles if I want. And I can even use 1 needle if I want. There is a lot of versatility to this machine. And again, what this machine does, on one side, there's the needles. But on the other side, ooh, look at all that beautiful stitching. It's like, I often refer to this as like a ladder stitch. And this is similar to what a serger does. And what this is a cover hem stitch. So here is like your t-shirt, and I folded up a hem, and then there is beautiful stitching to secure your hem all in one step. It stitches and finishes that edge all in one step, as opposed to 2 separate steps. So that's really great. And on this cover hem, we can also do the stitching so like it overlaps our raw edge here. Now, since this is a knit, it's not going to ravel. But sometimes I do the cover hem, and then I come in with my handy, Janome. These are our fabulous applique scissors that have a curved edge. I get these from our Janome scissor kit that you can order from your dealer. And then you see I can come in here and ultimately trim that raw edge down a little closer to my line of stitching. So I can also do the hem that way. Again, a little bit beyond the raw edge. I do my stitching, and then I come in with my scissors and then trim it very close. So that's one way to do your hem. But again, sorry about that. That it is finishing the hem and, capturing that raw edge all in one step. Now, the fabulous thing, this is a t-shirt knit, and yes, look at that stretch. I can stretch that t-shirt, get it on over my head and everything as I need, and then look at all my stitching is still perfect. Nothing is popping, nothing is, stretching out of shape. This is exactly how your ready-to-wear garments are finished. So again, look at the hems of your t-shirts and your, polo shirts, your leggings, and you'll find this is exactly how those hems are done. So the CoverPro 2000 CPX cover hem machine allows you to finish off those garments, so quickly and so easily. Now, I mentioned that, yes, in the accessories here, the little accessory box. We have things like, very much like our serger. It's kind of like a sewing machine and a serger combined. So here I've got the little caps that I put on the cone adapters. If we have big cones of thread, then we can use these cone adapters. It's so great that we can buy, again, big cones of thread that make it a little more economical. Of course, we've got our spool caps to put on top of those spools, screwdrivers, which of course are always essential. And especially I love, this little screwdriver in order to take out our needles, because as I said, we've got 3 needles, so we can remove, either use all 3 or we can remove one of those needles or both needles as we need to. I see lots of people are jumping on. Lovely. Hello. It's great to see you all. Yes, now thread nets. Now these are good to use when you have, a more decorative thread, maybe a metallic thread, because, even on this CoverPro CPX, much like on our sergers, you can also use a variety of threads. You can use, regular serger thread, of course, but you could also use like metallic threads, some heavier floss, more decorative elements. And by using this thread net over like that spool or that cone like this, it helps feed that thread. So it's not going to get all wrapped around the spool pin. It's just going to come off the top of that spool or that cone, very easily. So it's nice having these thread nets included, just in case you've got a particularly finicky thread, as I often say. Now, speaking of thread, and then yes, of course, we also have our tweezers, which are very essential in threading. And then, yes, what I love, this is our needle threader. So when you're threading your needles, it's great to have this little needle threader. Half of it, like this half, is for holding your needle. Isn't that great? Holding your needle in place. So when I'm going to thread or when I'm going to put the needle in, again, this helps hold it into position. And then I take my little screwdriver here. So again, it just kind of helps steady it a little easier. So then I can put that in position and then tighten my little screw into place. So that's really convenient. But then the other half of this, I put my thread across the needle threader, and then, ooh, there's this little wire that comes out. It's very hard to see. Do you see that little wire that comes out? So that is what's going to go through the eye of the needle with your thread to help you thread the needle. So it makes it very handy, very convenient. In this case, instead of 3 needles, I have 2 needles. I've taken out my middle needle, so I've got a right needle, the middle needle is gone, and there's the left needle. So while I'm doing my cover hem and whatever stitching I'm doing, I like keeping that other needle that I've taken out in this needle threader, so I always know where it is. So that's another reason why I love that these are included. Now, if your machine does not include, other machines, you know, this needle threader does not come with, but you can certainly purchase it in a blister pack from your Janome dealer. So that's really good to have. And then, oh, a couple of other little accessories like these little pins, that these will be for the various attachments that you can get to your coverhem CPX 2000. And I'll go over some of those attachments that you can get. There's a lot of versatility to this machine. So yes, lots of good stuff to include. And of course, for more information, you can go on our Janome Canada website and type in the CoverPro 2000 CPX to find more information there. We've got the Janome Accessories Guide also on the Janome Canada website that you can check the accessories tab out and see there's a whole section of all the CoverPro accessories available. So you can check that out too. Now, very important with your accessories is this package of needles. They are overlock serger needles, and you see it says EL. Hopefully you can see that, EL times 705. And there's 2 different sizes. There's an 8012 and then there's a 9014. So these EL times 705 needles, you will see when people, I spend a lot of my time on social media, and many people say, what machines do I, or what needles do I use in my machines? Well, in this case, the machine tells us right here, use only EL times 705 needles, again, size 8012 or size 9014. So it tells you what needles to use. You do have a, you know, pack that come with your machine, but these you can get in a blister pack from your Janome dealer, that you can order them directly from them. So that's always good to have spares on hand. And what those EL needles are, I got this. Now, you know, Schmetz is the manufacturer of those needles. And, you know, Schmetz, everybody knows, they've been around forever. And, ooh, look at that big needle. I was able to order this from Schmetz. Isn't that cool? This is a giant needle. And actually, for those of you who have signed up to Jennifer Tryon's homemade sewing event at the end of March, I will be doing a whole presentation all about needles. And you'll be seeing this needle here. So isn't that so cool? So those EL needles refer to, this is the scarf of the needle. And you see how it's, you know, hollowed out. And on domestic sewing needles, you know, it's got the flat back, so that goes to the back of the machine. So we have that big notch for the scarf at the back of the machine. And this is where the hook, as it's called, if my 2 fingers here are the hook, this is coming, you know, right around that hollow part of the scarf. And that's how then you have your needle thread, and then the hook is bringing your bobbin thread, and that's how your stitch is formed. So on your EL needles, that scarf is a little bit longer. I think of EL like, you know, extended or extra large. So that's why we need those EL needles, is to accommodate for the hook to come around, or in this case, the lower looper of our CoverPro machine, to form the stitch properly. It needs that longer scarf. So those EL needles have that longer scarf. So that's very cool. So yes, isn't that cool? Tanya says she needs one. I know. Aren't they wonderful? I love these. So yes. So, oh, sorry, that's the important of the needles, and again, available from your Janome dealer. So yes, oh, you know, again, I can talk forever. So what does this cover hem machine do? Well, we can use wovens or knits, and what I'm gonna do, this is some scuba knit here, and again, I need my stretch. So I'm going to finish this raw edge. Now, even though my knit, again, doesn't ravel, but still, I just want to make it look prettier. Now, if this were a woven fabric, for sure, I need to finish off that raw edge. And instead of taking this to my serger first and then doing a row of top stitching, or sometimes on our domestic machines, people use twin needles. So we have 2 needles in the top to kind of mimic that cover hem, and then we have the one bobbin thread that kind of zigzags in between. So that's an alternative, but still that's still more steps, and you've got to, you know, thread up the extra needles and whatever. So here, your cover hem machine, I'm just going to line up this raw edge just a little bit to the right of that left needle so it gets caught. And what I'm going to do is, in one step, I can always go in and, you know, check to make sure that I catch that edge. So in one step. So again, this is a lot like a serger and a machine combined. So conveniently at the side, we do have a thread cutter there. And then look at that, like boom, how beautiful that is, how professional that is. So this, and how quick that was. So there's our cover hem. You know, I've got 2 needles in this case. And then there, look how beautiful that is. So you see again that ladder stitch, or that kind of serger stitch over that edge. So isn't that beautiful? And again, stretch, I've got all that stretch built in. Nothing is popping. I don't have to worry about it at all. So that's what our cover hem does. So how beautiful is that? So again, just with my little samples, of course, my bigger samples are at the office, of course. But again, there's my triple needles. Now, in this case, I used white in my needle thread, but my lower looper thread, I used black. So isn't that cool? We can do 2 different color of hem. So there I decided, oh, I want this as my right side, and then this could be my wrong side. Or you decide, oh, if you want the black as your right side, maybe you're going to fold up your hem the other way, and this way you see that ladder stitch, that kind of serger stitch, or that cover hem stitch, you see it now on the right side. So isn't that a cool little detail? And then in this case, you see the contrast of the fabric. So this, if, you know, this is the hem of your sleeve, or the hem of your garment, you know, your pants, your skirt, whatever, that maybe you like that contrast. So now you've got this stitching on the right side as well as the contrast of that hem. So isn't that cool? So you've again got versatility. So there is how typically the hem would look if this is the right side of my garment. There's again my 3 needles, and then on the back side there is that looper stitch. So isn't that cool? Yes, I need this too. Yes, I agree, Pat. Everyone, if you are a garment sewer, for sure. Yes, you could get by without it, but oh, it's just kind of like a microwave is in your kitchen, or a KitchenAid mixer. Doesn't it make everything quicker and easier? Don't you have faster, more professional results with those kind of tools? This is what the coverhem, or the CoverPro 2000 CPX does. It gives you those professional results more quickly and easily. This is some crushed velvet, and look at that stretch. But then no, nothing is popping, nothing is gaping. It's all beautifully finished. You know, so that's great. Or again, how about this, a more textured knit? And that, again, you barely see it. Like, how beautiful is that? And again, with your hems, you really don't want to see them. Or maybe you do want the contrast. It's up to you. But yeah, this is a woven fabric. So again, my 2 needles there. It doesn't have to be knits. And then there, that beautiful ladder stitch. Like, so good. No raw edge, no raveling. And again, I finished this all in one step. So that's great. Now, in this sample, I thought was good to show. Now, another way that we typically, with our domestic machines, would hem would be if we fold over like a double hem. I do this kind of hemming a lot, depending on what, you know, it is, of course. So we could, you know, fold over our fabric, you know, once, and then we fold it again, you know, twice. and that, you know, finishes the raw edge, you know, that it's all beautifully finished there. We've got our row of stitching, and again, no raw edge. But this is our cover hem done. So I see my 2 rows of stitching, or barely, since they're in gray. And then there is my, again, my serger stitch, the ladder stitch, the cover hem stitch covering it. Covering the raw edge. So isn't it flatter by holding it at the side? You know, this is a flatter hem. There's only 2 layers. Whereas this hem up here that was clean finished on the domestic machine, there's 3 layers of fabric there. So it's a little bulkier, and you know, if you press over that, you're really going to see that imprint. This is a flatter hem, a little, again, a little neater, a little more professional. So I thought that was good too. If you don't want to add any extra bulk to your hems, the cover hem is a great way to finish it off. And oh yes, look at things like this. You know, this was a very sturdy cotton fabric. This is, in fact, my partner Joe is a server, and this is his apron. So again, it's very sturdy fabric. Woven fabric. Oh, this is a very delicate, slinky knit, tricot knit fabric. Would be great for like lingerie. So imagine this is your slip, and this is how you want to finish your hem. Or again, this is your nightgown, and this is how you want to finish your hem. Or a camisole, you know, again, how beautiful. There, I've got, in this case, 2 rows of stitching on the right side, and here the wrong side. There is that, again, kind of ladder stitch, or that cover hem stitch. And yes, I do have the stretch still that I need, and that's the big advantage of this cover hem machine. So isn't it beautiful? Yes, Tanya. And actually, oh, Tanya, I'm glad you reminded me. Yes, you know, my partner Joe is a little shorter than I am. So a lot of his garments, and even his apron that he wears to work, is longer than he would prefer, because again, he's a little shorter. So I personally love having the cover hem machine in order to cut off his t-shirts, and in order to cut off, in this case, his apron, I needed to cut it shorter so it wouldn't be so long on him. And the cover hem machine allows me to do that hem very quickly and easily. So that is great. It's a big time saver. So now sometimes if you are doing your cover hem, and let's say, oh, you see, I got some what we call tunneling, that the needles, you know, they're pulling that stitch a little too tight. Or in this case, this is a really flimsy, it's an old scrap of fabric. And I purposely was, you know, kind of stretching it out of shape. And to think, oh, what if I get, you know, skip stitches? Well, it sometimes happens, one, if your needles are dull. So that's why you need extra needles. So if you get some skip stitches with your cover hem machine, my first thing is change your needles. Second thing, oh, maybe you need to lengthen your stitch. Maybe you need to adjust your tension a little bit. Or if you have a really delicate, you know, fabric, it's giving you some trouble, you're getting some skip stitches. Maybe you need something like, ooh, this is a tricot fusible interfacing. So on this, like stretch velvet, for example, to give it a little more stability, to give it a little bit more body, I actually backed this fabric with that fusible tricot. And then that way, oh yes, I have no skip stitches, nothing at all. It just added a little bit more stability, no tunneling in between the cover hem, that it just, again, looks so professional. So I'm just going to move a little bit things over. So what I like using with my cover hem, and then I'm going to get back to stitching in just a minute. And again, I have no concept of time. So what I love using, again, things, good quality thread. Oh yes, we could use our serger thread. Again, from Janome, we've got a pack like this that has 4 neutrals in it. There is a row of black here, but it's on my other machine here. So we've got 4 neutrals, good quality serger thread you can get from your Janome dealer. Or of course, many times I've shown this fabulous, oh yes, Arrow Lock package that, oh yes, look at all that. And again, you see I use these very frequently. So these are great to use on your cover hem machine as well as your serger. So that is great. Or then, yes, we have our Arrow Flock machine. So we've got our Arrow Lock machine, Madeira Arrow Lock thread, for the sergers and coverhem, and this is Aero Flock. It is slightly fuzzier. It gives a more texture. It covers beautifully. So this is also available, this Aero Flock. You may have heard the term woolly nylon. This is woolly poly. It's polyester thread. And again, you can see it's a little more textured. So that you can certainly use in your cover hem machine as well. And then again, when I was just talking about, some hem, some fabric that may give you some trouble, then I once again turn to our fabulous Madeira Stabilizer Starter Pack, because it has 12 different stabilizers for you to experiment, and again, a booklet that explains exactly what each type is and when are you going to use it in multiple languages too. So that's really good. So that will help, kind of beef up your fabric. So for example, this is like the sheet of the cotton stable, which I love. And there's actually cotton fibers in here. But it's got a fusible on the back side that's a little bit shiny. So you could fuse this onto your fabric just in the hem, just to give it, again, a little bit more stability. And that's what I did with this t-shirt knit. Again, I still have some stretch here, but I ended up fusing a little bit of that the cotton stable onto just the hem, and then I would fold up the hem here like that. So then if I had any kind of skip stitches, the fabric was just not behaving well, nothing is wrong with the machine, it's just the fabric. So then again, you can do little things like that to hem it beautifully. So again, how quick, how easy that is. So boom, and then again, I still have that stretch, and then there my hem is beautiful. So, again, so that's really good. So just that little tip of using the, of using the stabilizers. There's so many, again, the cotton stable, and then, they come in black as well. Some of them, the cotton soft comes in black and white. And then, yes, we've got the Avalon kind. This is the Avalon Film, is a light water soluble stabilizer. So what I do is I cut a little strip there and put that over my fabric. In this case, this fabric was really giving me trouble. So then again, I can put that over my stitching, do my line of stitching, come back with my beautiful applique scissors with the curved ends there, so I'm not going to get into my fabric, and then I can cut off the extra of this water-soluble stabilizer, and then I could spritz it down to remove the rest of it, or the first time this garment would be laundered, the rest of it would disappear. The scraps of my water-soluble stabilizer, I save everything. You can see some of them in there. That I put them in a little spray bottle, and then I shake it up, and this then becomes like my own stabilizer. I take all those water-soluble stabilizer scraps, mix it with water, and then I spray this on my fabric to also stiffen it a little bit, again, just on the hem where I need it, where I'm doing my stitching, again, just in case the fabric's a little unruly and doesn't want to cooperate. So then this helps just to beef up that hem edge. Or again, I also love using To Real Magic, which I've shown many times on Janome HQ. If you go back to the Janome's Awesome Accessory Countdown, episode 1, I demoed the ribbon sewing guide, and I used To Real Magic to stiffen the fabric, which I have here, and you'll see I have no other stabilizer underneath this, but this fabric has become very much like paper by treating it into Real Magic. So this is also another option if you find when you're using your cover hem machine, and again, if you're getting some skip stitches, your needles are good, but you're still getting some skipped stitches from that unruly fabric, maybe by treating the hem edge with To Real Magic to, again, help temporarily beef up the fabric to do your stitching, and then after, when you, again, launder that garment or that piece of fabric, the To Real Magic just washes away. So that's an alternative to use as well. So that's really good. Yes, so let me get on to when we are looking at our beautiful CPX machine. We've got, Ooh, geez. Telescoping thread stand, again, which is great for our thread delivery. Now, you can see this is slightly different than a serger in that we've got a lower looper here, and then again, we've got our pre-tensioner for the lower looper, which I'll go into in just a minute. And then we've got our right needle, our middle needle, and our left needle. And then we can adjust our foot pressure this way on this little dial here to turn it up and down, just like on a domestic machine. But ooh, when I open this looper cover, ooh, do you see how fabulous? This is so much easier if you're afraid, if you're a serger owner and you're afraid of threading, don't worry about threading this CPX machine. It is so fabulous because all I do to thread my lower looper is just extend this. Oh, my threads are connected, that's why. I extend it and then boom, there, the lower looper has popped out. So it's easier for me to thread that lower looper and then I just snap it back into play. So how cool is that? So again, it is not intimidating to thread at all. And they're just like our Janome sergers, there's a color diagram here that shows you again exactly how to thread the machine. And there's one, ooh, there on the looper cover. And again, to show you the different needles and the different positions. So again, everything is there for you. The good thing as well, there are lots of videos on various Janome YouTube channels, Janome America and Janome Life YouTube channels. Liz just posted a blog on Janome Life. Blog is also a good resource for more of your coverhem machines. So you can check out Janome Life for the recent blog, just went out the other day, all about your coverhem. Now, just like our CPX 900 and CPX 1000, we also have a free arm. So that is great when I want to hem, oh, these little pajama pants, for example. Now, again, here is the typical hem that we may do if we don't have a serger or if we don't have a coverhem machine. We'll do like maybe a zigzag stitch in the hem there, and then another row of stitching to stitch down that hem. So again, perfectly fine, no trouble at all. But just for, ooh, a little faster and again, a little more professional, I love using these clips when I'm going to do my hemming as well, because I don't like to get pins around. But again, by having that free arm, oh, I'm just going to tuck this around and get it in there. And then the convenient thing, I don't know if you'll be able to see, on your presser foot here, there are little notches to indicate this is my left needle, that's my right needle, or that's my center needle, and that's my right needle. So it's great to help you line up your fabric for your hem. Now, also a very cool accessory that we have, which mine is at the office, of course, is the hem guide for your coverhem machine. So you can go to the Janome, again, accessory guide and see the hem guide. So yes, as I'm doing my hem here, and I won't do all of it, but again, very quick, very easy to do. So yes, I'll just take this out then to show you all. When I'm going to take out my garment, I like to go in, yes, under my presser foot. And then I just grab my needles, threads with my little tweezers or my stiletto, something like that. I just cut my threads and then I just pull it off. Grab a hold of it and pull it off. Ooh, there we go. So yes, let me just cut these and then you will see my hemming. And again, how beautiful is that? Nice and beautiful, nice and beautiful. Again, 2 lines of stitching. Now, if I removed my left needle, for example, I could have left my center needle in and then I could have done a very narrow 3mm hem. So it really depends, whatever you wish. Oh, Cheryl, it's quite okay that you're late. Again, you can go back to Janome HQ Instagram, the IGTV icon, to review this whole presentation. Or again, in a couple of days, it'll be on Janome HQ YouTube channel. So again, just, you know, this hem, perfectly fine, done on your domestic machine, perfectly good. But then here is the cover hem that you can do with your fabulous Janome CoverPro 2000 CPX. Again, very professional and a big time saver. That it's always, you know, threaded up and ready to go. So, oh yes, that I was going to show, but again, I know I'm running out of time. You've got fabulous accessories available that, oh yes, we've got the tape binders, for example. So much like our quilt binder, but then these are our tape binders, and there's a couple of different sizes here. And then again, they're all in the blister pack for available from your dealer, and they will say for CoverPro models for 3 needle. So that's our CoverPro 1000 and our CoverPro 2000. We do have the CoverPro 900, but that only has 2 needles. Now we do have tape binders for that machine as well, and it'll just say CoverPro models 2 needles. So you just have to make sure you get the correct one based on 2 needles or 3 needles, but these are all available from your Janome dealer, and again, more information in the accessories guide. But yes, these are a lot like our quilt binder. So then we take our base plate, and these are what these holes are in the machine, that the base plate is going to go down and attach to the bed of the machine. And then we're going to put the binder on top of it like that. Like that, and again, we'd screw it all in place. And then again, just like our quilt binder attachment, you can go back to Janome HQ's awesome accessory countdown. It was episode number 4 where I demoed the quilt binder attachment that's for the sewing machine. And these tape binders work basically in the same way, the same principle, to finish off the raw edge of your garment. In this case, I could do around the neckline, the armhole. I could do the hem as well with these various tape binders. And there's different sizes of tape binders. So be sure to double check with your Janome dealer about those. And then yes, this is what you can do. Your tape binder, you can either again finish the edge of your fabric, or again the neck edge or the sleeve edge. But how about just making this big long strap? This could be like a spaghetti strap, or this could be even like belt loops or a tie of any kind. So again, there's your beautiful kind of serger stitch on the back side, your cover hem, and then there's your 2 needles. Now you can adjust as well with your tape binders, adjust the needle position as well. Mine here is way over to the left, but you can adjust it again however you wish. You just need to play around with it. So that's very fun. And then again, oh yes, here's my stretchy fabric. So there is my stretchy binding with my tape binder attachment. And then again, here I was doing my little sample, and I thought, I'm too far over to the left, I haven't covered it. So then I could reposition my tape binder as I need to do, a little closer to the needle, as it would be here. I could move it a little closer to the needle. So then, yes, there's my 2 rows of stitching. And then again, on the back side, very beautifully done. So that's great. And then, this is like polar fleece. So again, the raw edge is not going to ravel, but it just finishes off more professionally. It's just a little nicer that way. So then, yes, I finished it off with the same tape binder. So that's all great. Or then again, there's that scuba knit. So again, all that stretch is still built in. So that's definitely a big advantage to using the CoverPro machines, either the 900, 1000, or 2000. Again, we don't have to worry about the stitches popping or anything. It's just very flat and very professional. So that's great. And then with all of these, I thought, well, isn't that cute? They just kind of hang together like a little banner. So I could, write a little message, or if these were embroidered patches saying, happy birthday or something like that, I could string them all together using my tape binder for my cover hem machine. So isn't that great? So very cool. And again, once you get these machines, like it's amazing of all the different things you can think to use for them. So there's my other little strap. There was with 3 needles. So again, that could be like a spaghetti strap. And then there on the back is all beautifully finished with that cover hem stitch. So again, lots of versatility with your fabulous Janome CoverPro 2000 CPX. How sweet is that? Yes, I agree, Pat. Very sweet. And as usual, I always have such great ambitions, ooh, there we go, to show you, you know, everything, because I absolutely love these machines. And again, there's so much versatility with what you can do with them. So as always, time is my enemy. So that it's just a little sneak peek. And then again, you can go to the various Janome YouTube channels, go on our Janome Canada website to check for more information. And of course, always check everything with your fabulous Janome dealer. So yes, thank you everyone for joining me. I hope you all have a fabulous day. And again, this will be up on IGTV to review later on Janome HQ YouTube or Janome HQ Instagram page, or it will be on the Janome HQ YouTube channel in a day or two. So thank you everyone for joining me, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Oh yes, thank you. We're excited about learning. Excellent. Yes, I'm all about learning and trying to get all this information out to you all, and as I always say, to share the Janome love. So thank you everyone for joining me today, and I will see you all again next week for another Janome's Magical Machine Mystery Tour. And again, what will we be talking about? Oh, I don't know. It's a mystery. So thank you all for joining me, and have a fabulous day. Thank you. Bye.